Dr. Lieber embodies what it means to be a thoughtful Jewish intellectual who understands both the history of our people and the responsibility we have for making the world a better place. It is my honor to call upon Dr. Julie Lieber to be our class's honorary speaker this evening. Graduates, I am really touched and honored that you asked me to address you on this very special day in your lives. You probably knew that when you asked me and I started tearing up. We are all here to celebrate your achievements, to wish you well, and offer you sage advice as you enter the next chapter of your lives. As your families, friends, and loved ones all gathered here know well already, each one of you are kind, generous, hardworking, and of course, brilliant. So, what can I share with you to take on your journey forward? We have spent 2 mornings a week this past year studying Jewish history. And while that was the official topic of our class, what we've really been doing together is, I hope, much more than that. If you recall, on the first day of class, we talked about a number of big questions. Among them, what is Jewish history? Why do we study it? And why do we care about it? I asked each of you to share 3 facts about your past with the class. Some of you recalled your long-standing, multi-generational family roots in Colorado. Yes, we have 2 Bukowskis in this class. Others spoke about their family's geographic and religious journeys. One student even identified the Big Bang as part of his past. When I prompted you to share any fact you wanted about your past, you all independently chose elements about your past that have in some way shaped who you are today and how you see yourself in the present moment. Not one of you told the class that you brushed your teeth that morning, that you ate breakfast, or any other mundane fact that we hope was a part of your past. And what I suggested to you then, and will remind you of now, is that history is not simply a mirror to the past. The past happens, and history is the story we tell ourselves about the past. Facts, dates, places, those are not history. They are all the building blocks on which we shape the stories that we tell ourselves and others. In a deep sense, you all knew this when you chose the particular facts that you wanted to share with us about your past, your families, the places you have lived, the religious journeys you have been on, the ideas that you hold dear. All of these things are ones that have shaped your present. In an age where innovation and disruption are our cultural buzzwords, and in a time when 21st century heroes are those who are challenging the way things have historically been done, what place will history and telling stories about our past have in our lives? I would argue, and the message that I want to share with you today, is that the past is precisely the place where we begin to shape our future. When we learned about the various competing Zionist ideologies of Herzl and Ahad Ha'am, and discussed each of their visions for the not yet born Jewish state, we were not simply asking what having a Jewish state meant to these long deceased 19th century men. Instead, like Herzl and Ahad Ha'am, you too were dreaming about what the Jewish state could look like in its utopian form and how we might get there in the future. Graduates, history is about allowing ourselves to dream about a past that was or could have been, a present that you are shaping, and a future that only through your bold dreams will come true. When we explored the birth of the various Jewish denominations, Reform, Conservative, Modern Orthodox, and Ultra-Orthodox, and we were transported back to the year 1870, where we held a debate in which each of you represented the early leaders of these different movements: Zacharias Frankel, Abraham Geiger, Chatam Sofer, Shimshon Raphael Hirsch. You each chose which of these religious leaders' minds you wanted to step into. You each presented an argument about how that particular movement and approach was the key to saving Judaism in its time. But in that moment, you were really asking yourselves, what do I believe are the keys to making sure that my Judaism will remain relevant, meaningful, and compelling into the future, both for me and the Jewish community as a whole? You were learning that history is not something that happens outside of you by impersonal forces. Rather, much like Hirsch and Geiger of generations past, you, the women and men of the 21st century, have the power to argue for a meaningful and relevant Judaism. Your voices will shape the contours of Jewish life and American life through your families, your activism, and your passionate engagement in your communities. And that will be the history that one day your children will study. When you get to college, there may be people and professors who tell you that to be a good student of history, you have to look at the past dispassionately and simply recount the facts. I hope you will bravely tell them that history is not just a bunch of facts, and that the greatest students of history are those who live engaged in the present moment and tell stories about a past that they care deeply about and a future they hope to shape. I know you will. One of the greatest joys of studying Jewish history with you this past year has been seeing how you brought your whole selves to class and the passion with which you engaged in our discussions. This came through in the important and deeply relevant questions you asked, as well as your strong opinions about which religious leaders you wanted to be in our debates. You also understood that history, when done well, is about opening conversations, not closing them. About stepping into the minds of others, some of whom may act and think differently than you, and trying to discover and understand. I know that in your future paths, you will continue to be creators of conversations, even the hard ones. You will continue to be involved in debates and discussions about the things you care most about. And you will continue to open yourselves up to different perspectives, because that is where our learning really begins. I hope that in our time together, you have seen that people make history through the choices they make and through the choices they don't make. And you graduates are those people. You have already begun writing your own history, and the amazing choices that we all know you will make will write not just your history, but the history of those who come after you. Never forget that you have skin in the game. Take those facts and write your story. The Jewish past, present, and future stand in front of you. Go out and make it yours.
Thank you, Dr. Lieber, for that beautiful address. At Dot High School, we emphasize experiential education. Every other week, we take a few hours to explore the different areas of our society by visiting organizations or volunteering our time to give back to the broader Denver community. As seniors, we were each able to spend 3 weeks interning and working in our areas of interest. Through our travels around the country, we're able to enhance our knowledge of science, culture, and history. These lessons we receive by direct experience are invaluable, but sometimes we overlook the life skills we gain during immersions. We assist with food purchasing and preparation, learn how to use public transportation, and so on. All this knowledge accumulated to help us plan our own senior trip. As a grade, we were responsible for fundraising, budgeting, finding accommodations, planning activities, creating a menu, and scheduling our time. We learned to adapt as situations unfolded, and we all worked very hard to ensure a successful trip to Colorado Springs. This practical knowledge was extremely useful when we began brainstorming our ideas for our senior gift. Despite being able to create an accurate budget, we understood the intricacies that factor into the success of creating these experiences. Using this ability, we were able to identify a few items that we believe will be extremely helpful. We've all done our fair share of meal preparation during immersions. Between making delicious mac and cheese, putting together meals to cook over a campfire, and manning the lunch packing table, We were able to understand all the components necessary for feeding a large group. To make the process easier, we decided to create a kitchen kit that can be brought on immersions. We ordered a set of pots and pans, measuring cups, bowls, knives, and skewers for campfire cooking. Everything we bought is stackable, which will enable the school to bring it with them around the world. We even totaled the pots, pans, knives, and skewers. This kitchen kit will help the school continue to provide those delicious signature immersion meals. In addition, we designed and ordered Dot High School luggage tags to be used during spring immersion when we take a plane to our destination. They'll be placed on all the bags, so every student will be able to identify which suitcases belong to us and claim them from the luggage carousel. On one side, we have a quote from Rudyard Kipling that we think exemplifies one of the core values of our school and immersion. It says, "For the strength of the pack is the wolf, and the strength of the wolf is the pack." Our small school community enables each of us to display our strengths and rely on each other for support when needed. We are at our strongest when we use our individual abilities to succeed as a group. When we spend a week together on immersions, it is difficult not to notice the assets of our peers. Immersions allow us to see the value in others and in ourselves, and teach us to use our complementary skills to reach our goals. As we move on from high school and become more independent, we will carry with us the skills we developed over immersions. It is our hope that when current and future students use the kitchen supplies and luggage tags, they will be reminded of the value of their experiential education. We hope that they too will value the opportunity to develop practical life skills. Remember to rely on one another and work hard to strengthen your own abilities. Appreciate the world around you, and know that even though we are leaving, the class of 2017 will always be cheering you on.
Mani Shana Halala Nikolalewa. What is different about this night from all of the nights? Tonight, my fellow classmates and I are graduating, and the boys of the class of 2017 came up with a quick description in the form of a grommet. What is a grommet, you may ask? It's a good question. Please join us in singing. Nine 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 In high school we had lots of fun. And now we're sorry that we are done. We have so many stories to tell. So sit back, relax, and enjoy as we yell. We all wake up, gotta go to school. What a journey seems like that to you. Lisa's the video extraordinaire. Sabi always changes her hair. Tova takes Difty Q. Who likes to laugh and talk to you. We welcome Aaron to our grade. His class feels betrayed. Kira's so happy she's jumping up and down. Joel thinks he's the class clown. Tanya tries to rap like Kendrick Lamar. Cash and money, that's who they are. Cash and money, that's who we are. Never made a single cent for money, got a car. Got a hover report, he got it from the heart. Writing raps, no report, only during study hall.
Brandeis, Barnard, Stern, YU. Maryland, Metro, Turo, CU. To all these schools we are destined, where we all become freshmen again. We hope you enjoyed our little song. Thanks so much for singing along. We just have one more secret to tell. We hope this was as funny as something really funny.
Thank you, boys, for that hilarious song. Hello, my name is Kira Fisher, and I am now a proud graduate of Denver Academy of Torah, and it is my honor to speak to you on behalf of my fellow graduates. If you were to compare me from my freshman year to my senior year, the similarities would be minimal. I began my journey as a mediocre student and lacking confidence, but thank God I now humbly consider myself to be intelligent, accomplished, and self-assured. I could say the same thing about all of my classmates. This has been made possible because of the personalized education we received at DOT. We are thankful for the dedicated attention from the DOT faculty, the school's warm and supportive environment, and the many opportunities through service, clubs, and student leadership. Each of us have our own experiences that portray the benefits of attending DOT. My stories will help you understand how the DOT High School helped me reach my potential. Last year, as a junior, I was struggling in AP World History. Toughest class I've ever taken, no question. I was having a very hard time with the multiple choice sections on the exams. I approached my teacher, Dr. Kramer, to seek her advice. Without hesitation or rebuke, she set aside time to meet with me weekly, recognize that sometimes I learn differently than others in class, and help strategize on my test-taking skills. The result? I put in more time, learned how to do a better job with my focus, and as a result, developed more self-confidence. Soon thereafter, I started to really do well in the class. Perhaps more importantly, I learned that it was okay to ask, and that when I apply myself, focus, and work diligently, I have what it takes to succeed. I now consider myself kind of an artist. If you had told me that I would say that at my graduation just 1 year ago, I would have said you've got the wrong kid. At the end of my junior year, Mrs. Durston suggested that I take an art class as a senior. She thought I might like it and help me later in life somehow. Reluctantly, I agreed. Best decision ever. I now love art. And even though I didn't think I could draw, Mrs. Durston worked with me one-on-one and helped me become an artist. I learned that I can expand my horizons, acquire new skills, and excel in diverse areas that were once foreign to me. In our freshman year, we went on a 2-week immersion trip to Israel. This trip was transformative and helped establish Israel as a fundamental component of our lives. We moved beyond the classroom and experienced firsthand what it means to breathe the air, walk the streets, and discover the land of Israel. We bonded as friends and family, laughed, cried, sang as one, and deepened our connection to each other and to our spirituality. Because of this trip, I strengthened a relationship to the land, the language, and the people of Israel. Looking ahead to my next year in seminary, I feel more confident challenging myself by learning Torah and exploring new aspects of living in our homeland. At DOT, there is a recognition that one size does not fit all. The educational experience is tailored to the individual. We are all seen as individuals, each with unique ways to learn and with specific paths of intelligence. This recognition allows the students to thrive to reach her or his potential. We are all pursuing careers that truly connect our individual passions and personal strengths. Fellow graduates, it is my hope that as we move forward, we carry these 3 important pieces of advice. Number 1, ask for help when needed, as there are many resources and people wanting to help. Number 2, don't be afraid to try something new. We might be surprised by what we learn. Number 3, remember our connections to each other, our unique Jewish identities, and our eternal bond to Israel. We are very grateful to the Dot High School for helping us reach our potential. Thank God my fellow graduates and I are on paths towards future success. May we all cherish the stories and lessons and do great things in the world.
So before I said I was going to hold myself back from addressing each student individually, now I have the honor of doing so as we present students with their diplomas. Kira, your enthusiasm and desire to bring happiness is evident to everybody who knows you. Kira is proud of running Spirit Club, being a co-president of Student Council, in addition to her involvement with Friendship Circle and Yachad, both organizations that benefit people with special needs. This year, Kira will be studying at Midrash Haro before attending Brandeis and a Kira Fisher. Tova, you're a dedicated student who makes very intentional choices about your path of learning. Next year, Tova will be studying at Mechlelet Mevaseret Yerushalayim, MMY, and then she will be studying biology at Stern College Honors Program, pursuing a career in bioengineering. Tova Nara. Ahuva, not a moment or day goes by without a smile on your face and a thank you heard from your lips. Ahuva is most proud of her artwork, pushing herself, and is especially proud of the article that she recently published after her internship at the Kemp Center. This experience has helped solidify Ahuva's desire to study clinical psychology and public policy at Torah College Roman in Chicago. Ahuva Levitt. Tanya, you are constantly tinkering with experiments, teaching me words and worlds I never knew existed. Thank you. But Tanya is proud of his senior internship and of his many accomplishments. He plans on pursuing a career in inventing and engineering research after majoring in engineering at the University of Maryland. But Tanya Lowenthal. Dove, your happiness and thoughtful sincerity shines through all the time. You've had some of the most deep, insightful questions, and I'm privileged to have shared so many of those conversations with you. Dove is proud of leading his teammates as boys basketball captain for the past 2 years. He spent his 3-week internship working with meteorologists and plans on pursuing a career in meteorology after studying at Metropolitan State. Dove Cohen. Aaron, you were both inspirational to your peers and to those around you, as well as well-balanced in the way that you choose to approach your studying. Aaron is most proud of winning the Yeshiva University National High School BQ competition. He will be attending Yeshiva University after spending time learning in Israel, Yeshivat Har Etzion. Aaron Brooks. Eliza, you are extremely committed and always striving for the next and the better and always moving forward. Eliza has seen her purposeful hard work pay off in very meaningful results. This is true for academic achievements as well as her work in NCSY. After studying in Israel at Nishmat, Eliza will be pursuing an MD PhD in psychiatry and neuroscience research beginning at Barnard College of Columbia University. Eliza McCuskey. Zavi, you are constantly pushing to accomplish your goals. Zavi is proud of learning that when we don't give up and we do our best, we never regret our hard work. This is evidenced through Zavi's successful fundraising efforts and completion of a difficult AP art course. She is looking forward to learning in Israel at Sharfman's Benot Torah, followed by studying at the University of Colorado. Zavi Parka. As an administration, as a faculty, as a community, we are proud of each and every one of you. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the Denver Academy of Torah High School graduating class of 2017. Graduates, with your tassels. Thank you. There's refreshments in the hall.
Good job, ladies. Glitches and all.
Besides the fact that I forgot to start the light. Apparently, I'm going to go live because it's starting again. Yeah. Well, they saw the most important parts of that science.